Okay.
So it looks like, there we go. So it looks like everybody is here with us and we're ready to start. So just as an introduction, my name is Kimberly Whittington and I am a certified personal trainer and I work with Achieve Tahoe, a nonprofit based out of North Lake Tahoe that provides adaptive sports. Today's class is sponsored by Move United, which is part of a series called Adapt at Home. And if you'd like more information on that, you can go to our website at achievetahoe.org. There's also information on Facebook and Instagram. So as a brief overview today, we are going to be doing 2 circuits. The first circuit consists of 5 exercises and all of them are standing. The second circuit consists of 5 exercises and all of them are sitting. So for today, you're gonna need some weights. You can also use water bottle.
But that was something else along the bottom that we were able to.
You can also use, sorry here, hold on 1 second. You can also use canned goods if that's what you have. So whatever you have at home that will work, you go for it and use that. So I'm gonna step back here. Again, if you wanna pin my video so that I'm a little bit bigger, that might help as far as being able to see me and following along. I am gonna do some adaptations for the exercises. So if that doesn't work for you either, if there's an exercise that doesn't work for you, just the idea is that we keep moving. So pick an exercise that works for you and try to just follow along and keep moving. So I'm gonna back up here. And we're going to start with a brief warm-up. So just make sure that you have plenty of room around you. So we're going to start with big arm circles backwards. So try to get those arms as high as you can and as far behind you as you can, warming up our shoulders. You don't have to go super fast. The idea is just to start warming up those shoulders and our joints. And now we're going to go forward, so big arm circles forward. Awesome. All right, so now we're going to go palms up, and I'm going to come out, opening the chest, and then across. So out and then across. So you can alternate one hand on top of the other. So the idea here is that we're opening up our back and opening up our chest. So swing the arms, really try to open up your chest, cross your arms as much as you can, opening up your back. And now we're gonna go palms down, open up your chest. So same movement. This time we're just palms down. Awesome, so let's stop and we're gonna go feet apart, hands are up in front or up above our heads. We're gonna go opposite hand to toe or hand to shin. I call this a starfish exercise. Opening up the back of the body, lengthening our hamstrings. If you can't reach your toe, reach for your shin or your ankle. I'm gonna go 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your feet together slightly. We're gonna do 5 squats to warm up those quads. So nice and slow. Keep your chest up. 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're gonna go butt kickers. So we're kicking our butt with our heel. You can jog in place if that works. Three, 2, 1, and now we're gonna go high knees. So we're pulling our knee into our chest if you can, or you can just lift your knee as high as you can. Try to reach your knee as high as you can, getting it up close to your chest. You can also drop jog in place. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to go all the way through those again, so we're going to start with big arm circles backwards. Let's do a few more. 3, 2, and 1. And now we're going to go forward. So big arm circles forward. Three, 2, 1. And now we're going to go palms up. So again, opening the chest, cross the arms in the front. And now we're going to go palms down. So palms down, same movement. Three, 2, 1. Arms up in the air. We're opposites, hand to toe for a starfish stretch, lengthening through your hamstrings. Reach for the toe, reach for the ankle or the shin. So we're crossing the body, opposite hand to toe. Reach for the outside of your ankle. So really get a good twist on the spine. Go 3, 2, and 1. And butt kicker. So kicking that heel towards your butt. You can also jog in place. For 3, 2, and 1. So high knees. So lifting those knees as high as you can. Again, this one you can jog in place as well. Pull those knees in toward the chest. Awesome. 3, 2, 1. Let's end with those 5 squats. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So we're going to get started with our first circuit of 5 exercises. So for this round, grab my cheat sheet here. You are going to need some weights close by, not for the first couple exercises, but you will need them. So whatever weights you have available, you can always use one weight if 2 gets too heavy, water bottles, or of course cans, so whatever you got. So the first exercise, we've already warmed up our quads a little bit. We're going to start with some squats. And at the end of our 10 squats, we're going to bounce. So it's going to look like this. So I'm going to come down and squat, stand up. So I'm going to go all the way to 10. And then after 10, I'm going to come down and I'm going to hold it and bounce for 10. Okay? So I'm going to count for us. Try to keep up with me. If you can't, just do the best that you can. So it looks like everybody's ready here. So we're going to start. Keep your chest up, facing me, squat down. Trying to get those quads parallel to the floor. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So everybody come down and we're going to hold it and bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. That was great. Okay, so for our second exercise in the circuit, It's a static lunge. So what that means is I'm gonna bring 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. I have a nice triangle here with my legs. I'm not moving my feet. So from here, I'm holding onto a wall, or you can hold onto a chair, or if you don't need anything to hold onto, you don't have to use that. So from here, I'm gonna come down into a lunge, trying to get that forward leg somewhat parallel to the floor, and then back up. So my feet are staying in the same position. Okay, so we're gonna do 10 on each side. So we'll do 10, and then we'll switch feet. All right, so it looks like everybody's ready. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. So come down as far as is comfortable. Ideally, you want that quad parallel to the floor. Try to keep your chest up here. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to bring my feet together. Step my opposite foot forward. And now we're going to do 10 on this side. So it's really important we keep that chest up, okay? So come down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Step those feet back together. So this is where you're going to need your weights. I have some 3s I'm using. I feel like for this exercise, the lighter the better. So we're going to be doing flies. So here we're using our deltoids and our shoulders to fly out to the side and then slowly come back down. So for this one, we're going to be going to 15. So we're going to fly out to the side, making a T with our arms, and then slowly come back down. So we're using that negative when we come back down. We're not letting our hands just fall. So that's 3, 4. So really think about using your deltoids, using those shoulders to lift the weight. Try not to swing it. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We have 5 more. So when you come up, think about you only really need your arms to become parallel to the floor. So I don't need to really go any higher than that. We have 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. All right, so from here, we're going to go to a shoulder press. So weights come up here, and I'm going to press them up over my head, trying to straighten my arms as much as I can. So I want to remind you guys, if some of these exercises don't work for you, you can change it. Just keep moving, okay? So let's press above our head. We're going to 15. Stand up nice and tall. That's 4, 5. Straighten those arms overhead. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, almost there, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So you're only going to need 1 weight for the next exercise. You can grab a heavier weight if you'd like, or you can use 2 weights in one hand, or no weight at all. I'm going to grab a heavier weight. So this is called a standing side crunch. So I'm going to bring one hand up on top of my head. My opposite hand is just holding the weight. So from here, I'm bringing my elbow as close as I can to my hip and then back up straight. Okay, so squeeze those obliques, those side muscles here. We're gonna go to 15 on each side. So make sure here, you're standing up nice and tall. Keep moving. That's 4. So again, we're trying to bring our elbow as close as we can to our hip. Obviously, we can't fold in half. But the idea is that we're really squeezing those obliques and crunching as much as we can to the side. We have 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're gonna switch the weight over to the other side. Opposite hand comes up above the head and crunch to the side for 1, 2. I can't stress enough here how important it is to stand up straight. So I'm not bending over forward, I'm only crunching to the side. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So that completes our first circuit. So that was 5 exercises. So grab a drink of water. We're gonna do all of that one more time. So just as a reminder, we're gonna go back to squats, lunges, flies, shoulder press, and a side crunch. Let me grab my water bottle here. So we're gonna do everything one more time, and then we're gonna come down to the mat for a separate circuit. So here, make sure you're catching your breath, let your heart rate slow slightly. Okay. So everybody come back. We're going to be making sure that our feet are about hip width apart. So we're going into squats. Remember, we're gonna do 10 squats with 10 bounces. So chest is upright, hands are out in front of you. We're gonna squat down, try to get those hips parallel to the floor, nice and slow. That's 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we're gonna hold it down here for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6. Stay with me, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, feel those quads. Okay, so for static lunges, I'm gonna step 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. I have a nice triangle here. So whenever I lunge down, I wanna make sure my body is upright and I'm coming straight down. So I'm not leaning forward, I wanna be straight up, okay? Sometimes it helps if you have a wall or a chair. So we're gonna go 10 each side. Looks like everybody is ready for 1. So drop that knee straight down. 2, nice and slow. Lunges are not easy, and they're not for everyone. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So feet come together, opposite foot back, and for 10 on this side. Again, stand up as straight as you can. Drop that knee toward the floor. It doesn't need to hit the floor. For 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so grab those weights for some deltoid flies. So our deltoid is our shoulder muscle right here. So really think about using that to lift the weight with a slight bend in the elbow. So here we're going to 15. So weight comes together in the front, fly out to the side to make a T for 1, 2, keep moving, 3, 4, 5. You only need to go parallel to the floor. 7. Stand up nice and straight. 8, 9, 10. We got 5 more. It helps if there's a slight bend in the elbow. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So here we're going to go shoulder press. So here I'm starting with the weights at my shoulders, and I'm pressing straight up overhead. You could bring the weights together at the top. If that helps straighten your arms, that's 2. So press high. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, almost there. 5 more, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. All right, now for our side crunches, I'm going to grab a heavier weight. Here I'm going to stand up nice and tall. One hand comes onto the top of the head. So from here, I'm going to crunch, bringing my elbow toward my hip, and then back up for 1, 2. So really think about squeezing those obliques. Make sure your chest is open. So I'm not rounding in the shoulders. Keep an open chest. Squeeze as you try to bend that elbow down to the hip. 7, 9, 10, 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch that weight to the other hand. Last 15. Nice and straight. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Try to keep your form. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so that completes our first circuit. We're going to do another circuit, and all of our exercises will be on the mat. So make sure that your weights are somewhat close to your mat because we will need them. I'm going to move my screen slightly so you guys can see me a little bit better. I don't necessarily need to see you. If you can see me, that's pretty much all we need. So grab a drink of water. So here we're going to start our second circuit. Okay, so it looks like everybody's on the floor. So our first exercise in this circuit of 5 exercises is a crunch, bringing our knee to our elbow. And so for the first 3 exercises, we're going to be seated just like this. And then for this last 2, we're going to flip over for some push-ups and some rows. So from here, I'm going to lay onto my back. And so for today, we're going to keep our feet planted on the floor. My hands are behind my head. And from here, I'm going to bring my elbow to my knee and then back down. So I'm going to alternate here, elbow to knee. So we're going to go to 20. So ideally what I'm doing is I'm reaching across my body, bringing that elbow to the opposite or the outside of my knee. So I'm going to go ahead and start counting to 20. That's 1, 2, 3. So keep going. What I want you to think about is bringing your shoulder blade as high as you can off the floor. For 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, last 5. Really squeeze those abdominal muscles. Use your upper abdominals to bring that shoulder blade up off the floor. Last 2, 2, and 1. Okay, so from here, we're just gonna stay where we're at, and we're gonna do a regular crunch, not lifting our legs. So you can have your hands across your chest, you can have your hands behind your head. All that I ask is that if your hands are behind your head, try not to pull on your neck or your head too much. So try to keep a nice neutral neck or spine. So from here, I'm doing a regular crunch for 15. So I'm gonna come up as high as I can, bring my shoulder blades up off the floor, and slowly lower down. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Think about the muscles you're using, so really squeeze those abdominals as much as you can. It's not about how fast you go here. 9, 10. We got 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right. So I'm going to sit up. For this one, you are going to need a weight. And this is called a Russian crunch. So from here, my feet are planted on the floor. My knees are together. My feet are together. And all I'm doing is slightly leaning back here so that I'm keeping those abdominals engaged. And I'm going to alternate from side to side. So I'm going to bring the weight to this side and then to the opposite side. So just like this. So ideally here, you're leaning back enough so that you kind of get a good burn in your abdominals. Okay, so we're going to go to 20 on this one. So from here, lean back slightly and alternate each side. It's 2, 3. So keep moving. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So keep going. We have 10 more. If for some reason this one starts to hurt your low back, you can certainly lie back, do regular sit-ups or regular crunches or leg lifts. We have 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're going to flip over for rows and push-ups. So you you will need one weight. So whenever I do rows on the floor, what I really want to think about is keeping a neutral spine here. So I'm not dipping my spine or pushing my spine up toward the ceiling. I want to keep a nice straight spine. So with one weight, doesn't matter which side you start with. So from here, make sure that your hips are over your knees so everything's in alignment. Shoulders are right over the wrist. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna row up as high as I can, getting that elbow up toward the ceiling, and then back down. Okay, so we're gonna go to 15 each side here. So from here, row up, pull that elbow as high as you can. Try to keep it tucked in tight to the side as well. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, and I like to keep my gaze between my hands or on at the mat because it keeps my spine straight. That's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So we're going to switch sides now. So switch that weight over to the opposite side. Elbow to the ceiling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So really drive that elbow toward the ceiling. Slowly lower the weight. I'm not swinging the weight around. 2 more. 2 and 1. All right, put that weight to the side. So for everyone's favorite, push-ups. They're not easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a couple variations that you can do today. So I'm going to come all the way down to the floor. So the first one is, either way, doesn't matter which one you do, you're going to make sure that your hands are right outside your chest and our elbows are tucked into our side, okay? So from here, I'm either going to press up onto my knees or I can press up onto my toes. Okay? So we're going to go to 10 push-ups. So try to stay with me if you can. I'm not going to go too fast. So again, either on your knees or on your toes. So come all the way down to the ground. We're going to go, hands are right outside your chest. So push up for 1. Nice. And down. 2. 3. Keep those elbows tucked into the side. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Okay, so that completes our 5 exercises for this circuit. So grab a drink of water if you need it. We're going to do all of those again. So as a reminder, just keep your weight close, because we will be using our weight again. Okay, so we're going to start on our backs for a knee to elbow crunch. I'm going to give the alternative to straighten your leg if you want. So from here, last time we did feet on the floor, knee to elbow, just like this. If you'd like a little bit more, you can lift your feet up off the floor and press one leg straight and alternate. We call this a bicycle crunch. Okay, so do whatever variation works for you guys. If this exercise hurts your low back, I highly recommend keeping your feet on the floor, or at least keeping your knees in this position. All right, so we're gonna go to 20. 1 counts as each side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reaching that elbow toward the outside of the knee, getting a good twist, using those obliques. Pull your elbow toward your knee. That's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so for a regular crunch, so staying in the same position, I'm gonna go hands behind my head because that's what feels most comfortable for me. You can obviously go across your chest. So here we're gonna go to 15, and idea is that you're bringing your shoulder blades up off the floor as much as you can, slowly lowering down. Going to 15. That's 2, 3. Try not to pull on the neck or the head. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So really squeeze those ab muscles. Lift the shoulder blades up off the floor. For 3, 2, and 1. All right. So coming up to a seated position for our Russian crunches. So from here, my feet are on the floor. Again, I'm leaning back slightly. Keep your chest open. So I'm not rounding forward here. Chest is open. Lean straight back, and I'm gonna alternate from one side to the other. Okay, so we're gonna go to 20. I will count, try to keep up with me. So twist, getting a good twist in the spine here. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, keep going. Again, if this exercise starts to hurt your back, you can always just do crunches or sit-ups. 2 more. 2, and 1. Whew. All right, flipping over for rows. So if the last time you did this, our backs are pretty strong. So if the last time you did this, if it felt pretty easy, maybe think about slowing down using a heavier weight. Or sometimes what I like to do is if I have 2 light weights, I'll use the 2 weights for the same exercise. So whatever works for you guys. Okay. So whichever side you want to start with. So again, here we're doing rows. Make sure that everything is stacked, hips above knees, shoulders above wrists. Here, bringing the elbows high as we can, and then slowly lowering the weight to the floor. So 1. Going to 15, 2, 3. Again, I like to gaze down between my hands or at the mat because it keeps my spine straight, and that will really help keep a neutral spine and keep us from arching our back. That's 6. 7. Drive that elbow toward the ceiling, squeeze those back muscles. Throw that weight in as close as you can to your chest. We got 5 more. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides. So another thing to consider here is if it hurts to have your hands like this on the mat, you can always come up onto your knuckles. It also gives a little bit more lengthening in the arms. So 15, opposite side. Drive that elbow toward the ceiling for 1, 2, 3. Really squeeze when you lift. Think about the muscles that you're using. Squeeze those back muscles. For 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, almost there, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. All right, so for our last exercise today, before we do a little bit of a cool down, is push-ups. Never have too many push-ups. So whatever way works for you, whether you're on your knees or your toes, I want to keep my hands outside my chest, tuck my elbows into my side, squeeze my triceps, push up with the chest. We're going to go to 10. Okay, so try to stick with me here. Slowly lower to the floor for 1, 2, 3. Keep those elbows tucked in to the side. 4, 5. Slowly lower yourself to the floor. 6, 7, 8. Almost there. 2 more. 9. 1 more. 10. Whew. Okay. Here I like to do child's pose. If you're familiar with that, you're basically just sitting your butt toward your heels, reaching your fingertips out, maybe slightly walking your fingertips forward. I like to bring my head all the way down and rest my forehead on the floor. All right, take a couple deep breaths. Whew. Okay, we're gonna come down onto our butt. We got a few stretches to do to end for today. So I'm gonna start just sitting up nice and straight. My feet are out in front of me. I'm gonna reach for my toes or my shins or my ankles. So here, think about folding at the waist and less about arching the back and rounding. It doesn't matter if you can touch your toes or not. The idea is that we're stretching out those hamstrings, folding forward. Sometimes I like to forget about reaching for my toes and maybe just think about folding in. Again, try to take a couple deep breaths. Let your heart rate slow down. All right, from here I'm gonna reach or slide 1 foot out to the side, and then I'm gonna bring the other foot in. And from here, I'm gonna reach for my toe and up over to the side. So here I'm lengthening those abdominal muscles that we used, or oblique muscles that we used earlier. Opening up my side body. Take a couple deep breaths here. So each time you breathe in, maybe try to reach a little bit farther to the side. So breathe in, let it out, reach. Okay, so we're gonna switch sides. So opposite foot out. Here, reach over the top, open up the side body. One more deep breath here. In and out, reach, 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 open up. Good. So here we're gonna bring our feet together for a butterfly stretch. Doesn't really matter how close your heels are to your butt. If you can get those feet together, that's ideal. So just like the first stretch, we're gonna fold at the waist and bring our chest down toward our feet. If you can, or if it feels good, you can always use your elbows to push your knees toward the floor. If that doesn't feel good, don't do that. And if you're more flexible, you can try to scoot those feet in closer to the butt. Some days I'm definitely more flexible than others. All right, so while we're down here, I'm gonna go one foot out straight, opposite foot crosses over. I'm gonna hug my knee into my chest, and then I'm gonna twist. So I like to put my opposite hand out behind me and help me twist and look over my shoulder. You should feel a pretty good stretch in your glutes or your butt muscles. Really think about hugging that knee into your chest as much as you can. You're gonna get a better stretch. And release, and switch your feet. So opposite foot comes across. Reach that hand behind you, get a good twist, look over your shoulder. A couple deep breaths, squeeze that knee into the chest. All right, so we're gonna go hands out to the side. I'm gonna reach up and over, pull my elbow in, reach down my back for a nice stretch through our triceps. And out. Let's switch sides. Reach that hand down the back, pull the elbow in. Try to think also about sitting up nice and straight here. Get a better stretch in your tricep. Let's do that one more time on each side. So arms come out, pull the elbow in. And switch. Great. So I want to thank everybody for coming today. It's a great class. I saw lots of moving bodies, which is awesome. So as a reminder, today's class was sponsored by Move United. If you'd like more information about that, you can check them out online. You can also go to achievetahoe.org. And again, this is part of